everybody, Mrs. Poole here. Mrs. Greenwood's challenged us to a bake-off. So, for this week, I'm going to challenge you, years 2 and 3, to bake something that you enjoy baking at home and to share a picture of it or upload it, or maybe share it in our Zoom session so that we can all have a look what you've been making. So today I'm going to make chocolate brownies, and my son is celiac, so I'm going to make gluten-free chocolate brownies, but the recipe is the same, just using normal flour instead of special flour, gluten-free flour, if you're not celiac. Okay, so that's gluten-free chocolate brownies. So for this recipe you will need 3 eggs. You'll need, oh, I have to put that on silent, sorry. You'll need 3 eggs. You'll need 200 grams of, this is the microwave, hang on, there it is. 200 grams of unsalted butter. I'm using lactose-free, again for my son's special diet, but the normal butter works just fine. And 200 grams of milk chocolate, which I've already broken up now. Little tip, although Cadbury's chocolate tastes nicer, I find that cooking chocolate is much easier to melt, so I would definitely recommend using cooking chocolate. Then you need 30 grams of cocoa powder, so I've got that ready for using later. And 100 grams of self-raising flour, so this is the flour I'm using, Dove's Farm, organics, gluten-free. You can just use any normal self-raising flour. Most recipes use plain flour. This recipe uses self-raising flour. I find that works really well. The recipe does actually say 250 grams of soft light brown sugar, which is what I usually use, but in lockdown it's been really hard to get hold of, so I've been using caster sugar. That works absolutely fine. Nobody in the house has noticed the difference, so that's fantastic. So that's all your ingredients. Okay, so your first job is you have to melt the butter and the chocolate together, and the way I do this is in a jug on the hob. So put my chocolate in jug, okay, and then there's my spoon, my butter on top. Now you never ever put chocolate straight into a pan to heat up or it will burn. So I've actually got some hot water in the bottom of the pan, and now I'm going to put this jug on top of the hot water, so it'll sit in the hot water and melt slowly, and it's really important to keep stirring it while that happens. So just pop it in, and I'll show you what I've done. If I get my spoon, you just keep heating this through, and it will slowly start to melt. I'm going to pause the video now because I'm sure you don't want to watch me for the next 5 minutes melting chocolate, and we'll start again in a minute. Okay, so while the chocolate's melting, I'm going to bob back and forth. Although it is very important to keep a close eye on it, I'm going to grease the pan and line it with greaseproof paper. So the way I do that is I just line the bottom with paper, because I find if I put it all up the sides, it makes the edge of the cake a bit icky. So I'm going to draw around the base of the pan. So I've got an outline. What have I done there? Hang on. It doesn't line up at all. There we go. Right, and then I'm going to cut that out. It's important to get your chocolate and your butter melting first, because they actually need to cool down before they can go back into your cake mix ingredients. So to get that melted, you can do it before you start actually, but I'm just doing a little bit of multitasking. There we go. Got these to go in the bottom. Just going to go and check my chocolate. There we go, that fits perfectly. Oh yeah, that's starting to melt now, you can take my word for it. Give it a good stir. Right then, and now I also need to grease the side of the tin with butter, so I'll just get some off the fridge. Okay, use a bit of greaseproof paper for that. And I'm going to just grease down the sides. Oh, that can go back in a minute. and that will stop the brownie from sticking when it's in the oven. You to really enjoy chocolate brownie, it's extra nice when it's with vanilla ice cream, according to my son, or possibly honeycomb ice cream if you ask me. Right then, okay, that's fantastic. So that's all greased now. I just need to keep it away from the dogs because you can't see, but I've got some handy helpers down here, which are after the butter. Okay, so chocolate's nice and melted here, mixed in with the butter, as you can see. What I'm going to do now is transfer that to a cool container to help it cool down more quickly. So I'm just putting that into a different jug. This jug's a bit hot. Okay, and then I'm going to pop that out the way. I'm going to pop that in the fridge to cool, which I'd probably get in trouble with my husband if he was here, because I think it warms the fridge up a little bit, but if you've got a bit more time you can leave it to cool on the worktop. Okay, right then, while we're waiting for that, it's time to whisk the eggs and the sugar. So I'm going to need 250 grams of sugar. I'll just quickly weigh that out. It's a lot of sugar. So if you like sweet food, this is definitely the snack for you. And anyone that's had me as a teacher knows that I love sweet food and I love chocolate. There we go. 250. Oh, I've gone way too far now. Hang on. Let's take that off. Okay. 250. Okay. Right then. So, first thing I'm going to do is, it's really great if you've got an electric whisk for this job. If not, you can use a hand whisk. But the key to a crunchy top on the top of your chocolate brownie is to whisk the egg until it turns like a white fluffy colour, and that seems to, it says on the recipe, do it for a couple of minutes, but it always takes me about 10 minutes to do properly, so I will leave that to you to decide. Some recipes say to whisk the egg with the sugar, some say to do the egg then the sugar, so I do a bit of both, find the middle ground. So I'm cracking the 3 eggs now into the bowl. Okay, they're there. And I'm going to whisk those now until they go light and fluffy. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on and then I'm going to turn you off for a while because this does take a little bit of time. So the egg's starting to thicken up. It's still not as thick as it needs to be because when it's fully whisked, it should leave a trail on top. It's still quite liquidy at the moment, but it's definitely going a lighter colour. So I'm going to add the sugar in now. And I'm going to whisk that, carry on whisking that, and leave it now until it's quite a, not stiff consistency, but when you lift out the whisk, it should leave a trail on the top. So let's give that a go. Okay, so my whisked egg has completely changed colour now, and it's quite hard to show you here. Let me see if I can get closer to the camera. It's quite a white shade, and if I do that with the spoon, it does make a trail, which takes a little while to go into the mixture. So that's perfect. Right then, so the next job is to add in the melted chocolate. You just need to check it's cool. It doesn't need to be refrigerated cool, but it does need to be cool to room temperature. So I've just checked mine, it's fine. And we're going to pour this in and fold it into the mixture. It's really important not to mix it up too much because all that lovely air that you've just put in your mixture, you don't want to then squash out again. So I'm going to pour that in. Okay. I'm going to fold it in. So I'm going to see if I can get a bit closer. it. I'm not an expert baker, so I'm probably doing loads wrong, but the brownies always turn out quite nice, so they're a good one to share with you. Should be having a think about what you'd like to make for our bake-off. There we go. Right, so it's fairly well mixed in, that'll do now. Still a bit at the bottom, but that's okay, because we've got a bit more to mix in now. So, in this cup here, I've got 100 grams of self-raising flour, not 200, I know with fairy cakes it's matched ingredients, and 30 grams of cocoa powder. Now, because I'm making gluten-free brownies, I'm also going to add 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Okay, so you don't need this if you're making not gluten-free versions, but this just helps keep it a little bit moist, because when we make gluten-free cakes they can get a little bit dry sometimes, okay? So that's xanthan gum. Right then, so I'm going to sift this into the mixture now. Go. Get all the lumps out. All done. And then again, I'm going to fold that in carefully. Get that out of the way. Using my big spoon. That's it. So trying to keep those at that air as much as you can inside. And you're folding that flour. So nice. Kind of looks like a chocolate mousse when it's like this. You just want to stir it enough so all the powdery bits are gone and it's all mixed up, but not too much that you squash the air out. A bit like Goldilocks with the porridge, you've got to get it just right. I think that's fine now. Do a closer look. Okay. Right then, so I can get my tin now. Pour it in. Should have mentioned, sorry, you need to preheat your oven, so hopefully you're watching this for the second time if you decided to make it. So you preheat it to 170 for non-fan ovens and 150 for fan-assisted ovens, okay? Should be that. Let's get the rest of the bits with spatula. Okay, so that's ready to go into the oven. So I'm going to put that into the oven, 150 degrees or 170 if it's not a fan oven, for 30 to 35 minutes. And the key is that when you check it, the sides should start to crack, the centre should start to crack a little bit, the crust, and the sides come away a little bit from the tin, but it'll still be quite moist inside, it might still be a little bit wobbly. If you cook it through too much, it'll just turn into like a chocolate cake, so you can still eat it, don't panic. Right, so I'm going to pop that in now. And I'll see you in 30 minutes and we'll see how it worked out. Okay, so the brownie's ready now. I got it out of the oven a few minutes ago. It's not wobbly anymore, and it's just starting to come away at the sides a little bit, and crust a little bit as well. So with chocolate brownie, you actually leave it in the tin to cool. So I'll leave that for a little while, and then I'll slice it up, and then it's best served warm with ice cream. Mind you, saying that, I prefer it cold, so it's probably personal preference. So you might want to try that recipe. You might have a recipe of your own that you're already an expert at, or why not be brave and try something new? So let's beat year 4 and 5, Mrs. Greenwood. years 2 and 3, and let's see what you can create. And we'll put a forum on our learning platform, and you can upload pictures or show it there. Okay. All right. Good luck, everybody. Bye.